Hello and welcome to Brand Your Passion, the show that helps you turn the thing you love the most into the thing people know and love you for. If you're an artist or maker who is ready to get more eyes on your work, more engagement in your audience, and more creativity in your life, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Holly Arnett, the brand strategist and coach for creatives, and it's time to brand your passion. Hey there, before we dive into the episode, I would love your help. I've recorded over 110 episodes of this podcast at this point, and I honestly have no plans of stopping or slowing down. I'm more determined than ever to help you and creatives just like you to brand your passion with this podcast. So as we look forward to the next 110 more episodes and beyond, I would love your feedback. So if you have a spare 2 minutes, I've put together a really super quick survey. So please head to bit.ly/passion pod feedback. That's bit.ly/passion pod feedback, all one word, to answer a few quick questions about your experience listening to Brand Your Passion. And as a huge thank you for helping the podcast, when you submit your feedback, I will send you the entire first module of my signature brand strategy course, Map Your Brand Magic, which is all about uncovering and clarifying your purpose. So you'll get that in your inbox straight away as a big thank you. So again, if you're willing to help me to pursue my vision of making the world a more creative place, one brand at a time, and help more creatives brand your passion, and also get more out of this podcast for you to make it, more helpful for you and exactly how you want it, then I would love your feedback. So you can head to bit.ly/passion pod feedback to share your thoughts and get that free brand strategy lesson. Okay, now on with the podcast. To get people to buy your work, they need to be thinking about your work. And to be thinking about your work, they need to be aware of your work. So today I want to talk to you about how you can live rent-free in your ideal customers' brains, in their heads, so that they can't stop thinking about, buying, raving about, and recommending your work. So let's dive in and chat about 20 brand awareness ideas for artists and makers. Okay, let's talk about what brand awareness is. So brand awareness means focusing on improving how your brand is recalled in your industry. So it'll help you when you are focusing on wanting new clients or customers, or you want to establish your expertise, or you want to niche down or pivot, because it's all about measuring and knowing and paying attention to how many people think about your brand in relation to a specific niche. So it's saying like, okay, if I am thinking about art, or I'm thinking about buying a gift for somebody, or I want a new t-shirt, who comes to mind straight away? That is brand awareness. So say, for example, if somebody is thinking about branding and they are thinking about, they're an artist and they want help with their brand and they think about me, that's really good brand awareness for me. That means I have good brand awareness in the industry of branding, and especially branding for artists and branding for creatives, right? That means good brand awareness. That means that a lot of artists are aware of me as a brand, but I can always be improving that, right? And there are a lot of ways that I can do that to make sure that more people are aware of me as a brand in that industry, and that when people are thinking of branding and they are thinking of branding for artists and for creatives, that they think of me. Brand awareness is often really confused with brand visibility. People confuse the terms a lot when they say, I want more brand awareness. They all often mean they want brand visibility. They often mean I want more people to know who I am, which is what brand visibility is. So brand visibility means growing your audience. It means getting more people to know who you are. But having more people know who you are doesn't mean that they know what you do. It doesn't mean that when they think of what you do, that they think of you. It doesn't mean that they're clear about what you do and how you do it and who you do it for, and all of those things. So growing your audience and increasing your brand visibility is a very important thing to do. It's really helpful if you're wanting more opportunities, you want to pitch sponsors and partners, so you want to have a bigger audience, you want to increase sales, you want to launch something new, so you want a bigger audience. These things are all really good reasons to increase your brand visibility, and obviously having a bigger audience, it makes it a lot easier to increase your brand awareness. But it's a very different goal than increasing your brand awareness, which means making sure that those people who do know who you are not only know who you are, but remember and associate you with a particular thing and with a specific niche, and think of you in relation to what you do. So where visibility is about how many people know who you are, awareness is about how many people think of you when they are buying products, booking services, or making recommendations. So it's just important to remember that distinction and know that when you are thinking about your brand and you're making goals and you're making plans and you are deciding what to focus on next, you are clear about what it is that you actually want to achieve. So if you want to sell your work and you want to get opportunities, or you want to position yourself in a particular way, you might want to focus on brand awareness and making sure that the people who do know who you are, that they are remembering you in those specific situations, that when they are going to buy something for somebody else, or they're going to treat themselves, or they need a new t-shirt, or they want to decorate their walls, or they want to book a commission, or they want to hire somebody to design something for them, whatever it might be, they are thinking of you, that you are top of mind, that you are living rent-free in their brain, that they are always thinking and like in love and like, oh my God, always like, I can't wait. So I have some like extra spending money so that I can buy that thing from that artist. I can't wait. I'm like saving up my pennies. I'm putting the date in my diary for that market because I can't wait to go and buy that thing from them. You know, you want to be top of mind all the time. So how do we do that? Now we know what brand awareness is and why we might want to be focusing on that, and what the difference is between brand awareness and brand visibility. How do we increase brand awareness? How do you get more people to think about you in association with a certain topic, type of work, particular opportunities, or the products that you do? We're going to talk about 20 ways that you can start to live more rent-free in your ideal customer's head. But there's something you need to do before you can do that. Before we can dive in, we need to know what it is that you want people to be aware of. There is no use in increasing awareness for awareness sake, or increasing awareness, but mostly just increasing confusion by throwing out a bunch of confusing messaging to your audience. So, first things first, you need to answer this question. What do I want to be known for? Some other questions, if you want to like write these down, take some notes, that might help you in answering this question in different ways are, what's the one thing that you want your audience to remember about you? Or, what is the number one thing that you want people to associate your brand with? Or, if people left your brand aware of one thing about you, what would that be? Or, if you overheard me telling my friends that they had to buy from you because of X, what would you hope that I was telling them? Or if somebody was recommending you to a friend and telling them that they had to buy this from you, what would you want them to be telling that friend? So if you answered all of those questions or just a couple of those questions, summarize that answer and figure out, what is it that I want to be known for? Whether that's like a practical thing, like a tangible, like, okay, it's my t-shirts or my apparel or my commissions or, my bandanas or my prints or whatever it is. Or maybe it's the causes that I care about. It could be the fact that I really want to have speaking opportunities and that's what I want to be known for, or that I coach other artists, or whatever it is that you really want to be known for. Think about what that is, and that's the number one thing that we want to be focused on while we talk about like these ideas for how we get people to know about that thing, right? Because we don't want to, go have these 20 different ways of getting people to know about us and have 20 different things that we tell people. It's like, okay, we have one thing that we're going to tell people in 20 different ways, not 20 different things that we tell people in 20 different ways. And it's like 20 times 20, and that gets really confusing. It's one thing in 20 different ways. So that's the plan. Okay. So now you have your answer about what you want people to know you for. Let's talk about the tactical things that you can do to increase people's awareness about your brand and how to live rent-free in your ideal customer's head. So let's dive in. And these are things that I have done. A bunch of these things I've done, a bunch of these things other people have done. If you know my story, you will know I have pivoted my business at least like 5 or 6 times, and I've used these things every single time to make sure that people know what I do, and it's worked every single time. So I make it really clear so that people associate me with my new thing every single time, and I repeat myself over and over and over again with using a lot of these different methods. I repeat myself over and over again in a bunch of different ways, so people are hearing from me all over the place. This is what I do, in all the different ways. So it's unignorable. You cannot escape that this is what I do, right? That's the goal. Okay. Number 1 is you want to change your bios everywhere, all over the place, on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, wherever you are, your website, your link in bio, everywhere, and make it crystal clear. Whatever you have just decided that you want to be known for, even if it was like causes you care about, the fact that you want speaking opportunities, anything, put that in your bio. If I cannot gather from your bio right now what it is that you want to be known for, then you need to change it, because I'm not a mind reader. Nobody is a mind reader. We need to have it spelled out for us in your bio what it is you want us to know. So for me, like it says in my bio, whatever it says right now, branding for artists and makers, or branding for creatives, so that you know off the bat, that's what I want you to know. And it will say that everywhere and anywhere, because that's what I want people to know about me. So number 1, change your bios, check them everywhere, make sure they're consistent everywhere as well. If on one it says one thing and on another it says something else, too confusing. Make sure that on every platform, everywhere, your bio is the same and it's crystal clear about what you want people to know. Number 2, and I'm starting off with some pretty obvious ones, and then we're going to get into some more weird ones, or not weird, but maybe less obvious. Number 2 is to post, obviously, on social media again and again. And I mean, don't shut up about it. You might think it's annoying, but it is not annoying. You need to repeat yourself over and over and over again in as many ways possible about what it is you want people to know about. As I said, again, whatever it was you decided, repeat it over and over again in as many different ways as possible. So let's say, for example, you decided that what you want to be known for is like speaking, or let's say coaching other artists, right? How can you talk about that in as many different ways as possible? Talk about why you care about coaching artists, how you coach artists, the artists you have coached before, what coaching packages you have, testimonials from other artists, what you get in a coaching experience, what the transformation is from a coaching experience with you. Does it happen online or in person? Like, talk about it over and over again in so many different ways, with anything that you're doing, talk about it in all of the different ways, and just repeat yourself as much as possible. Number 3 is to write articles on your website. This is a great way to establish your expertise, establish the topic, and just, again, write about and explain what it is that you want to be known for. So yeah, again, in as many different ways as possible, write about whatever it is that you have decided. So on your own website, this is great because it will last a long time, longer than social media, so people can continue to find it through Google, and through, lots of different avenues, and you can link back to them. You can share them with other people. You can share it through social media. You can email them to people. You can link them through your email newsletter or other things. So share them, write articles on your website about different topics related to what it is you want to be known for. They can be informational ones, they could be behind the scenes, they could be telling your story, whatever it is related to the topic, you can write articles about them on your website. Number 4 is that you could write articles again, but on more of a discovery platform like Medium or even Substack. So it's another platform that is going to share your writing with other people without you having to do that manually or organically. So Medium is a great example. You can also get paid through Medium if you want to do that. But on Medium, you can add your writing to other people's publications. You can also add it to different categories and different tags, so that if people are looking for topics like art or design or fabric or sewing or whatever, then you can be discovered for those different topics as well. My writing has been featured in topics like design and creativity, just randomly. So people have found me that way and have found me through my Medium writing. So if you want to be discovered and you want people to learn that that's what you are about, then you can start writing on Medium as well. And you can do both. If you are writing on your own website, you can just republish that writing on Medium or on Substack as well. So feel free to just duplicate whatever you're writing so you're not having to double your workload. As a follow-on to kind of talking about Substack, you could also start a newsletter. A newsletter is a really, really, really great tool, which I would recommend every person to do right now. It is a really important marketing tool, and especially when we talk about algorithms and everything, there's a separate conversation. But starting a newsletter is a great way to establish what you do and to create regular content, to really get the people who know about you, who already know who you are, to sign up to your newsletter and learn more about what you do, and so that you are consistently updating them on who you are and you are staying top of mind. Because even if they forget and you're not top of mind, every time you send them a newsletter and you pop into their inbox, they're going to remember who you are. You're going to update them on here's what's new, or here's what I'm thinking about, or here's what I've just released in my shop. And so that's going to remind them, hey, I'm here. Here's where you can buy from me. Here's where you can support from me. And so a newsletter is a great idea for staying top of mind and for reminding people, this is why you support me. This is why you followed me in the first place. And here's why you should stick around. Number 6 is to guest on a podcast to talk about it and to talk about what you do. Podcasts are a great place. Not that I'm biased. Obviously, I love podcasts, but reaching out to people who have podcasts and saying hey, I would love to be a guest. If you're open to having guests, here's what I can talk about. Here's what I can bring to your podcast. Here's why I think your audience would love it. Here's why I think would be a great fit. And talking on the podcast about what you do and telling people, this is what I do and this is what I want to be known for. Not in those explicit terms necessarily, but repeating that topic that you want to be known for, so that either people who don't know you yet or people who know you and are listening to another piece of content from you are reminded again in a new way, like, oh, yes, this is what Holly's all about, or this is what this person is all about. And I'm, remembering, and it's sticking in my mind even more. This is what they're about. And it's becoming top of mind again for me. Similarly to guesting on a podcast to talk about it, is that you could also guest write an article. So a lot of places, a lot of businesses are busy people, and they love a guest writer. I have done guest articles for a bunch of businesses. I used to write for No Issue. I've written for Henry. I've written for a bunch of brands. And so if you can guest write articles, it not only helps them out a lot, but it also, again, establishes your expertise, establishes whatever it is that you want to be known for, reaffirms that thing that, yes, this is what I'm talking about, this is what I'm all about. You can share that with your audience. You can it gets shared with new people because their audience will learn about it too. So it is a win-win-win all around. Number 8 is starting a YouTube channel. Obviously, this is a chunky undertaking. Starting a YouTube channel is not for the faint of heart, but starting a YouTube channel is a really effective way to create an ongoing conversation and a repeatable way to communicate what it is that you do in a lot of different ways. So whether that's educational videos talking about what it is that you do behind the scenes through vlogs and things, or telling your story, or however it is that you want to communicate and reiterate what it is that you do and what you want to be known for. There are so many ways that you can do that through YouTube, and you can do that. You can do collaborations on YouTube, videos with other people. There's so many different ways that you can use YouTube to do that. And if you're creating a YouTube video every week or every 2 weeks or every month even, having regular content come out on a YouTube channel and growing an audience around that really establishes what it is that you talk about and what it is that you're all about, and that every week is constantly and consistently communicating what you're all about. That is really going to establish what it is that you are known for, and people are really going to come to know and become aware of what it is that you are all about. Number 9 is to get a PR feature in a magazine or newspaper. So print is not dead, my friends. I know that some people are not all about it, but I, for one, am still a sucker for Frankie magazine, and some of us are still all about Frankie magazine and other magazines and newspapers, and not just print in person, but online magazines, online papers are publishing all the time. And so if you can reach out to those publications, just like the people who are publishing articles online, busy people, they are needing to publish regularly. They're looking for stories. They're looking for interesting people who have stories to tell and who have amazing things to talk about and who have knowledge to share. So if you have that and you have something interesting to talk about, then you can reach out to the journalists and people who are writing those stories, the editors, who are overseeing the whole thing, and you can see if you can get into those magazines and newspapers. That's a really established and respected way to confirm hey, this is what I do. That's as clear that I know what I'm talking about because I've been published in these amazing respected places. If you can get into something amazing like Frankie magazine, or even there's all of those magazines and newspapers that people will plaster the logos all over their website, I was featured in Forbes, or all these other amazing places. That is a pretty amazing thing to achieve. So if you can do that, that's a great example too of how you can establish what you do and reconfirm this is what I'm all about. I'm telling you, I know what I'm doing. And just a reminder, this is what I'm on about. I mentioned earlier about starting a newsletter, but you can also sponsor a newsletter. So even if you don't have a newsletter yourself, or if you do, you could also sponsor somebody else's newsletter. So if you know hey, my audience loves Holly's newsletter. I'm not saying you should sponsor mine. It's just an example. But if you know, like, I know there are like thousands of people reading Holly's newsletter who would be like my perfect audience, right? And I want them to know this is what I do. And I want them to think of me when they think of this thing. Then you could get in front of them and tell them, you should check me out and you should think of me when you think of this thing. So sponsoring someone else's newsletter is also a really interesting way to increase your brand awareness. Number 11, we are halfway there now, is that you can ask for recommendations or referrals specifically for what it is that you want to be known for. This is especially useful if you are like pivoting or niching down and you want referrals or recommendations for this new thing. So like, say for example, when I niched down or pivoted from doing like all of the brand things to doing brand design. I've pivoted back to doing all the things now. That's a story for another day. But I could specifically say like, hey, I'm just doing brand strategy now. Can I please have recommendations or referrals from anybody in your network that you think would really benefit from some brand strategy help? I would really appreciate it. You're the best. This is what I'm doing now, and I'd really benefit from your support. So you can reach out to people, tell them, hey, this is what I'm doing now, and I would really appreciate any connections that you have, any referrals that you have, and it just really clarifies for them, hey, this is what I'm doing. That reminds them like, oh, I'll think of this person when I need help with that thing, or I want to recommend people for that, and then also will hopefully get you some recommendations and some referrals. Number 12 is to create some case studies and or some personal projects around what it is that you want to be known for now. So say, for example, you are pivoting into or creating like pet commissions. I don't know, creating examples out of my ass now. But say that's what you want to do, then you can and should, in my opinion, create some case studies that are around pet commissions. And if you don't already have those, then create some personal projects, create some examples that are that thing so that you can share those examples. You can share some case studies. You could even do some like pro bono ones for some friends or some family or something. Not that I love doing things for free. Don't recommend it. But if you're wanting to get started, it can be an opportunity to just let a couple slide so that you can get started, and start a portfolio and start getting some examples so that you can share things and start getting known for that thing and build that awareness as somebody who does pet commissions. So that would be my recommendation, is to do some case studies and or some personal projects if you don't have the case studies to share, so that you can have some things to share. Next up, number 13 would be to print some flyers. As I said, print is not dead. I printed some flyers for a market that I sponsored, and I was like, this is a market full of artists. Artists are my people. I'm going to print some flyers and I'm going to share them and hand them out and also put them on the table so that anybody can take them. Print some flyers, my people. You can take them around to like events. If you're at events, like at a market or something, have flyers on your table. If you are like, have some shops in your local area, you could go and see if you could hand them out at the shops and say like, hey, would you mind having some of my flyers here, or could I put them up on the wall for people to take, or like whatever, could I put them out on your table? A lot of your local people will be more than happy to do that, I'm sure. So see if you could create some flyers that say like, hey, here I am, this is what I do, you need to know these key things about me, and this is my flyer, and this is how you can work with me or buy from me or whatever it is that you do. And that's how you can build some awareness with people like in your local community. So that is a great tip for in-person brand awareness. And the next one from that, number 14 is to do the same, but with posters. If you are wanting to connect with people who live in your local community and you want them to buy your work or hire you or support you in any way, then you can put up posters around your local community that get people aware of what it is that you do and remembering like, oh, this person does this every time they are walking around your local community and, you know, seeing your poster and they're thinking like, oh, actually, it's so-and-so's birthday coming up and I need a present for them, or actually I need a new logo, or actually I need that thing, and that person would be perfect. So having posters around, whether that is like, in local shops or around outside, if you have like the big paste up ones, or however you want to do those posters, having those around can be a great idea because you are putting your brand physically in front of people. It's hard to miss when people are like walking around and you have this big ass poster like in front of their eyes, like when they're waiting for the bus or when they are like coming out of work or shopping around or in their favorite shop and they see your face or your brand or your work and they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I need that. Or I want that. Oh, look at that product. That's incredible. Gimme. So posters can be a great idea too. Number 15 is to speak at conferences. So we mentioned that you can speak on podcasts, but you could also speak at a conference. So there are so many conferences, even smaller events than conferences, like just one-off events. See if you can reach out to conferences that are going on in your local area, in your country, wherever you are at. Look out for ones that are relevant to your industry or the people that are in your audience, and see if they have a submission situation where you can submit to be a speaker, or whatever their process is, and see how you can get involved. See what you could talk about and how you could get in front of those people and say like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I talk about, this is what I do, introduce yourself to those people. It's also a great place to network. Once you're a speaker, people usually want to talk to you and like learn more about you and connect with you afterwards. So speaking at any event is a really great place for people to learn more about you, and to, again, remember who you are, especially if they already know you in your local area. Then seeing you in person at an event is another great reminder for them to be like, oh yes, that's right, I've seen that person online. It's great to see them in person. It's a reminder that I really like their work, and now I've heard more about them. Now I'm like even more convinced that I should buy from them, and that it's even more cemented in my brain that that's what they do. And so next time that I need somebody, I'm going to go and buy from them, or I'm going to go recommend them. So speaking at conferences and events is a really great option. The next one, number 16, similarly to that, is to host your own workshops in person. So say you do something crafty, or you teach something, whether it's with your hands or like educationally, you can teach a workshop about whatever it is that you know. And this is, again, another reminder for people that this is what I do and this is what I'm all about. And this is why you need to remember me, because I'm so good at what I do and I can help you, or you can learn from me, or you can buy from me. And so it's even better if you can like intertwine your products or your services into the workshop. So, you know, if you are like, hey, I teach hand lettering. I used to teach hand lettering workshops. You can be like, hey, I teach hand lettering. Come do this workshop. Also, if you want more support, I have this course on hand lettering, or like I have these downloadable templates on hand lettering that if you want more things, you could go to my shop and buy those things, etc. So running workshops is a great option for reminding people, cementing in their brain, again, this is what I do. If you don't want to do in person, number 17 is to run online webinars or workshops. So if you're thinking, okay, it's been a while, I haven't reminded people what it is that I do and how awesome I am. It might be time to run a workshop or a webinar online, and that way you can tell your whole audience, whether they are in your local area or online. You can not only tell them what it is that you do, but you can also help them and support them and teach them. So that can be about anything. It can be something practical, like I said, like hand lettering, or how to design t-shirts, or whatever it is that you want to do. Or it can be something really like practical and business wise, like how to organize all of your files. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But there are so many different workshops or webinars that you can do that could cement in their minds and remind them, like, this is what I do. Remember, cement it. Get it locked in. Don't forget, this is who I am, y'all. Number 18, nearly there. We are closing in on the end. You can go to networking events and introduce yourself and, catch up with other people that you already know and remind them as well. Like, hey, I still exist. I'm still doing this thing. If you have forgotten and you are still looking for people who do this thing, look no further, because I am here. So even if you are not speaking at events or you're not running events, you can still go along to networking events, whether those are online or in person. Connecting with other people and just reminding them and showing up and saying like, hey, I'm still here, still connected. Just a reminder, like, I do X. I'm available for this. I am your girl or your person if you want this. Don't forget, like, I am here. Just showing up and being available and being like, hey, just know I'm around. Then that is a great way to do that. And so just, heading along to networking things, and showing up and showing face and reminding people that you exist and you're there, and reminding them what you do is a great option. Number 19, getting back to some technical things now, is to target some SEO keywords with your website and your those articles that we talked about earlier, all the things that you are doing with your site. You can target specific keywords with your SEO so that when people are searching for certain things, you pop up for those keywords. This is particularly great for those people who already know who you are, so that, say Jane, who already knows who you are, and Jane is searching for super cool prints for my office, searches for that thing, and then search results come up and you pop up. Jane is like, oh my God, I totally forgot about Jess. Jess is incredible, and thank goodness that Jess popped up, because I had totally forgotten. Now I can go and support Jess, because that's right, Jess is awesome and I do want some of Jess's work. So using SEO to your advantage and making sure you are using search engine optimization to do that is a great tip, and not super technical, but more technical than some of these other ones, but a sneaky way, not sneaky, but just a good way to be like, actually, don't forget about me when you are searching for things. I'm going to pop up there actually. And similarly to that is to do the same on Pinterest. So not just Google, but when people are searching on Pinterest, you want to make sure your products, your services, your face, your brand is there front and center. So people, when they are searching for products, for services, for anything related to what you do and what you want to be known for, that you show up as much as you can. So do what you can with Pinterest to be like, yeah, same thing. Jane is searching. She's like, I need prints for my office, and she searched Google, she searched TikTok. Hopefully you showed up there too. But now Jane is like, okay, I'm going to Pinterest. I'm making my mood board. And she's like, Jess, I knew I needed those prints, and there they are because you have uploaded them there, and then they are linked directly to your shop. So get on Pinterest, make sure your stuff is on there too. That can be a really great way to remind people that you are there and this is what you do. And whether that is your actual products or like I make sure that all my articles are linked too. So if you're doing informative stuff as well, it can be really helpful. So, this episode, right, will be linked on Pinterest so that if someone's looking for like brand awareness, they will find an article on brand awareness on Pinterest, and then they can click through, find this, and find me and be like, oh yes, I knew Holly was so helpful when it comes to branding things. I need Holly. So that's how we do all of this stuff. Okay, that was 20 ways that you can increase your brand awareness and start living rent-free in your ideal customers' heads. So it's all about just making sure that you are constantly popping up, you are constantly showing up, reminding people, I exist, I'm here, this is what I want you to know about me, this is what I want you to remember about me, so that anytime they're thinking about the thing that you do or the thing that you offer or the thing you want them to know about you, they remember like, oh yes, that's right, Holly is the person and this is what Holly is all about, and I know that, and that's why when I'm looking for branding, I think Holly. When I know that I need branding for artists, Holly is the gal. So that's what you want to achieve for your brand too. You want people to think, okay, when I need X, I immediately think of your brand. So that is the goal. I hope that these tips have been really helpful for you in this episode. I would love to know, please let me know on Instagram or on Threads which one of these you think is going to be the most helpful for you, which one of these had you not thought of before, and which one of these are you going to try first. So let's run through them super quickly. You can change your bios to make them consistent and crystal clear. You can post on social media again and again and again and again and again, really repetitively. You can write articles on your website. You can write on Medium or Substack, the discovery platforms for your writing. You can start a newsletter. You can guest on a podcast to talk about it. You could guest write an article. Could start a YouTube channel. You could get PR features in a magazine or newsletter. You could sponsor a newsletter. You could get a PR feature in a magazine or newspaper. You could sponsor a newsletter. You could ask for recommendations or referrals specifically for what it is you want to be known for. You can create case studies or personal projects to share examples of what it is you want to be known for. You can print flyers. You can print posters. You can speak at conferences. You could host workshops in person. You could run a webinar or online workshop. You could go to networking events and introduce yourself to people you've never met or people you have met and remind them what it is you want to be known for. You can target SEO keywords or you can post on Pinterest. So that has been 20 ways you can live rent-free in your ideal customer's head and increase your brand awareness as an artist and a maker. I hope this has been really helpful. As always, please keep creating, and I will see you in next week's episode. Bye-bye. Hey, before you scoot off, I just want to remind you about that survey that I'm currently doing to collect your feedback about the podcast. So if you've got a couple of minutes to answer a few questions about the things that you love, don't love, want to hear more of, etc., please do head to bit.ly/passionpodfeedback. That's bit.ly/passionpodfeedback, all one word, to share your thoughts. And remember that I'll send you the entire first module of my signature brand strategy course, Map Your Brand Magic, as a huge, huge thank you. Okay, I appreciate you so much. I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Brand Your Passion. If you enjoyed this one, it would mean the world to me if you could share it on social media and make sure to tag me at Maker and Moxie so that I can see and share it too. It really does help to get the show out there, which means that we can all work towards that Maker and Moxie vision of making the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. Thanks so much in advance, and I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, keep creating.